Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to 2019. I hope you're all doing well. I know I haven't uploaded a video in quite some time. I kind of uploaded a few here and there last year, but this year I want to try to upload more consistently. I don't really know what type of content to do. I know these collection videos are something you guys want to see based on the responses on Twitter, but if there's anything else that you want to see me do, you can leave it in the comments down below. I was thinking about maybe doing some live streams this year because I finally found my capture card again. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. But either way, we should probably get into this because there's a lot of games here. I haven't done a PS4 Collection video in about a year, so I think I'm probably just going to do these every January until I stop buying new PS4 games. But I asked on Twitter what collection video people wanted to see, and this won out just by a little over the Switch. So I'll be doing this one, and then I will be doing the Switch's collection video coming up soon. So without further ado, let's get started. First up, we've got Astrobot Rescue Mission. I've heard really good things about this game, but I haven't gotten to play it yet because of the way that my setup is. The PSVR camera can't see all of the space that it needs to be able to see to play most VR games. So I'm hoping to find an extension cable for the camera, but so far I haven't been able to find any that are still on sale. Most of them came out with the PS4 and they're not around anymore. So hopefully I'll be able to find one, and then I'll be able to play games like this that I really want to play but I can't right now. Next up, we've got Burnout Paradise Remastered. This is a fantastic game, a great remaster of a fantastic game. Like I said, I would highly recommend this. This is cheap, especially now. I've seen it for like $5 at Target, $5 on the PlayStation Store for download. This is one that I would highly recommend. I'm going to breeze through the next few because they're all from the same series, but we've got Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. This is probably my least favorite one. We've got Call of Duty Ghosts. This is the Steelbook edition. Still not a great game. I don't really like this one either, but it's better than Advanced Warfare. And then lastly, we've got Call of Duty Black Ops 3. This is also the Steelbook edition of the game. This is my favorite Call of Duty on current gen, and the only Call of Duty game that I would recommend at all on current gen. I have all of the other ones digitally, and I don't like any of them. This is the only Call of Duty that I would recommend to anyone. So if you want a Call of Duty game, this is the one to get. Next up, we've got Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy. I grew up with Crash, so I might be a little bit biased, but this is one of my favorite games on the platform. The remaster is done incredibly. It's basically the original games just in HD. They didn't really change anything. They didn't take anything away. It's Crash, and they even added the level that was taken out of the first game for being too hard. I didn't finish the first game on here because it was too hard, but I beat 2 and 3, and I had a really good time with it, and a lot of great memories came flowing back while I played this. So I would highly recommend this even if you haven't played Crash before. These games are just great. The first one can be a little brutal, but the other two are really fun. Next up, speaking of brutal, we've got Dark Souls Remastered. This is still sealed. I haven't played this yet, but hopefully I will play it, and hopefully I will like it. I'm kind of torn on whether or not I think I'm going to like this game. I guess we'll see when I play it. The concept sounds interesting to me, but also not a big fan of RPGs or like super long games, so we'll see how this goes. Next up, we've got Destiny 2. This is still sealed. Best Buy was literally giving this out when you bought any other game. So, I mean, I have it, but I don't think I'm ever going to play this. Next up, we have Detroit Become Human. This is surprisingly good. I know a lot of people like to hate on these like choose your own adventure games, especially the Quantic Dream ones, but I actually really like Quantic Dream's games. I think they did a great job with this, and it was a lot of fun to play through, especially playing these kinds of games with other people and making the decisions together is a lot of fun. So I would recommend this one. It's on sale quite a lot now. I got it at launch, but I'm still happy with having gotten it at launch, and I think it was a really fun game. Next up, we've got Doom. This is the 2016 reboot, I guess, of the series. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really that big a fan of this. It was really fun for the first few hours, but that's really all it is. It's the same thing for too long, I feel like. There's no variations on the gameplay. It's just kill demons, kill demons, kill demons, and it's the same way, and you see the same animations. And I mean, like, it's satisfying at first, but for a game as long as this is, I think it's like 12 hours. It's way too long of just the same things over and over. So, I mean, it's really cheap now, so if you're into this sort of thing, it could be fun, but I wasn't the biggest fan. Next up, we have Dying Light: The Following in this horrendous red case. I got this on Black Friday. I still haven't gotten a chance to play this, but I was really excited for this game before it came out, and I never got around to playing it, so hopefully I will get to play this. And it comes with all the DLC, so that's cool. Next up, we've got The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Also got this on Black Friday, and I haven't had a chance to play this one either. I've heard great things about this game. We'll see if I like it. I like some of Bethesda's other games, so we will see. Next up, we have Fallout 4. Speaking of Bethesda, this game was okay. I much prefer Fallout 3. I don't know. I feel like Bethesda needs to really work on the bugs in their engine and the bugs in their games, especially after Fallout 76 happened. This game is okay for what it is, but it definitely is not a perfect game. And I think Fallout 3 was much more forgivable because it was on last generation hardware and it was the first Fallout game in a very long time. Bethesda really should have their stuff together at this point. They make so much money, it's kind of ridiculous that this game still has as many bugs as it does. Next up, we've got Far Cry 4. This one was really fun. I'm usually not a big open world person, but I really enjoy the Far Cry games, and I thought this was pretty well done. I got this pretty close to when the PS4 came out, and I played it then, so my memory's a bit foggy, but I remember enjoying it, so that's cool. Next up, we've got Far Cry 5. I wanted to play this one time, and I put it in, and it had like a ton of updates, so then I didn't play it, but hopefully I will play it soon, because I did like Far Cry 3 and 4, so I see no reason why I wouldn't like this one. Okay, the next few are all the same. We've got FIFA 14, and we've got FIFA 15, and we've got FIFA 16, and we've got FIFA 18. So I bought the same game 4 times. Yeah, I'm a sucker. Moving on. We've got Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions Evolved. This name is a bit of a mouthful. I got this as a free game in GameStop's recent buy 2 get 1 free. I've seen gameplay of this game many times, and I've always been interested in it. It seems like the type of thing I would like. I like these sort of like arcade bullet hell shooter things. Resogun on the PlayStation Store is something I always go back to, so I feel like I'm gonna like this. I just need time to play it. I have a ton of games in my backlog at this point. So hopefully I will get to this sometime after all those other ones that I just said I'm going to get to. Next up, we have God of War. This was my game of the year last year. This game is phenomenal, and it's frequently pretty cheap nowadays. It was $17 on Black Friday. This is a masterpiece of the game. You definitely want to play this one if you have a PS4. This is the game to get, I feel like. I had a ton of fun with this game. Next up, we have Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm going to be honest, I was a lot more into Grand Theft Auto when I was younger than I am now. This game, I mean, it's fine, like, it's a good game, but it just, I don't know, I didn't really get that much into it. The online's fun every once in a while. I never played the story, I just ran around and kind of did whatever I wanted to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think GTA is necessarily for me anymore, but this game is still well made. I kind of wish they'd stop shoving their microtransactions everywhere, but other than that, the game's pretty good. Now, don't kill me for this one, but next up we have Horizon Zero Dawn. I have not played this game yet. I know that it's supposed to be, like, amazing, but it also came out at the same time as the Switch and Breath of the Wild and, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, basically, so I was kind of busy with other things, and like I said, I'm not that big into open world games, so I don't know. I do want to play this eventually. I think I'll like it, but I haven't had a chance to yet, so hopefully by this time next year, this is one that I will have played because this is kind of high on my priority list. Next up, we've got The Last of Us Remastered. I got this for $5 a few years ago, which I thought was a pretty good deal. I haven't played this one yet either. I was going to play it last summer, but I decided to wait till closer to when The Last of Us 2 comes out, so I will be able to go into that one kind of like fresh off the story of this one. I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. So, yeah, I'm going to play this eventually, like most of these other games. Next up, we have Mega Man Legacy Collection. These games are really hard, like really, really hard, and I like the concept of Mega Man, but I'm not sure I like the actual game of Mega Man because I'm just honestly not good enough at these games to like get through them. I hear there's a rewind feature, which I didn't know about, so maybe that will help me. We'll see. I'm probably going to go back to this one if that is in this version. It might only be in the Switch version. I'm not sure. So yeah, we'll see. Next up, I'm just going to do these together because they're the same game. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. This one is the one with all the DLC, and this is the base game, which I got at launch. Basically, buying this was cheaper than downloading the DLC, so I just bought the physical version with the DLC. This game is really fun. If you like fighting games, or if you like Naruto, or some combination of the two, you'll probably like this game. I'm not sure that this is the best one in the series. I still think Ninja Storm Generations is the best, but this game is really fun, and the story mode is great. Ninja Storm Generations barely has a story mode, so if you're trying to play it for the story mode, then this is great. If you get the Road to Boruto version, then you can play the Boruto movie as a story mode, and you get a few other characters. You get Boruto, Sarada, and Mitsuki. So yeah, good game. I'm not sure that many people are still playing this, so you might have trouble online, especially now that Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker's out, but it's still a fun game if you're looking to play it on your own, and if you can find someone online, then I'm sure you'll have a good time with it. Next up, we have Overcooked. This game is a fantastic couch co-op game. I only wish I had gotten it on the Switch because I feel like the Switch kind of suits couch co-op better than the PS4 does, but the game itself is phenomenal, and no matter what you get it on, you will be having a great time. I would highly recommend this one, and I think this one is also on sale quite frequently as well, so you can't go wrong with this. Next up, we have Overwatch. I've only played a little bit of this. It takes a lot for me to get really invested into online games, so don't get offended that I haven't played like hundreds of hours of Overwatch, but what I have played of it, I enjoyed. I think it's a solid first-person shooter. So yeah, I mean, it's a good game. Next up, we have Persona 5. Okay, so you've heard me say I don't like RPGs, and normally I don't, but this game was the only RPG I've played in recent times that wasn't a Pokemon game that made me go like, wow, I actually like this game and I want to finish it. But then I saw how long the game was, and that kind of turned me off because I don't have 100 hours to sit in front of a TV for one game because I have all these other games to play. So what I'm really hoping is that now that Joker has been announced for Smash, this gets ported to Switch, because then I will be able to play the entire thing in the comfort of my bed, which would be great, and then I will actually beat it. But the game itself is phenomenal, it's just me that is not. Next up, we have the PlayStation VR demo disc. This isn't really a game, but it's a bunch of demos of games pressed onto a disc and given to me for free. So it's okay, but you can also download this. So yeah. Next up, we have PlayStation VR Worlds. This came with my PSVR. It's basically like a Wii Sports type tech demo thing for the VR. I mean, it's fine. It gets the job done. None of the things in this are like mind-blowingly amazing, but I mean, for a pack-in, it's okay. Next up, we have Rainbow Six Siege. So I haven't actually played this online yet. I played the tutorial missions, and those were pretty fun. But like I said, it takes a lot for me to get invested into online games, and none of my friends actually have this one, so I feel like the team aspect would be lost anyway. But the single-player missions were surprisingly fun for a tutorial, so that was cool. Next up, we have Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. I've had this for a while. I tried to play it a while back, but in the first hour, there's some limbs that get cut off, and I wasn't too into that. Normally, I'm okay with like normal horror stuff, but for some reason, the limbs kind of got to me. So my friends want to play this in VR, so I'll probably watch them do it. I'm okay just watching someone play games like this, but playing them myself, it's a lot more intense, surprisingly. So yeah. Next up, we have Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. I know nothing about Rick and Morty, but I bought this game because it's made by the same people who made Job Simulator, which is by far my favorite VR game. So I haven't actually played that much of this, but from what I've played, it's just Job Simulator's engine and Rick and Morty stuff with a bunch of jokes I don't really understand. But if you like the show, you'll probably get the jokes and enjoy this game a lot. Next up, we have Rock Band 4. Are you surprised this game exists in 2019? Because I think the people who made it are surprised this game exists in 2019, given the DLC they keep putting out that no one wants. This game is alright. It definitely has its issues, like how they put out a $30 expansion before they actually like fixed the frame rate drops in their games. But they did fix it eventually. So I have 2 copies of this game because one came with all the instruments, and then buying this copy separately with a guitar was cheaper than buying the guitar by itself. I don't know why things like that happen, but either way, I have 2 copies of this game for some reason. Next up, we have Rocket League Collector's Edition. I don't know what's so collectible about this, it's just a physical copy. I had this game on PlayStation Plus. I got it for free when it came out, and it's still by far the best PlayStation Plus game I have ever received from Sony. But I bought a physical version because it came with all the DLC, and I like plastic. So, it's a fun game. It's probably one of the best multiplayer games this generation. They've kind of ruined it recently with their whole Rocket Pass Fortnite garbage, but other than that, it's a fun game to play, so would recommend this one. Next up, we have Shadow of the Colossus. This is one I want to finish. I started it. I wasn't too hot on it, but I mean, I also only played like 2 or 3 hours of the 6-hour game, so maybe my opinion will change once I see the ending. This is one I could go back to at any time, really. 3 hours isn't much of a time commitment to finish this game, so I'll probably finish it pretty soon. Next up, we have Slime Rancher. I was really excited for this game. It seems sort of like one of those Animal Crossing type games where you can get really lost in it, and I almost did. When this game came out, I played like 5 or 6 hours of it immediately after I got it, and I was on the brink of getting hooked, but then the whole point of the game is catching these slime things and like putting them in your ranch, but the game's frame rate drops to like 10 frames per second if you have too many of them in your ranch, which kind of defeats the purpose of the entire game. So I'm waiting for them to patch that. They still haven't, and it's been like 4 months, so I'm kind of losing hope, but maybe they will. Next up, we have Spider-Man. This is one of the best games on the console. I'm sure you've heard people rant and rave about this game, so I won't say too much, but it is one of my favorite games on the console. And as you see, it takes a lot for me to actually beat a game, and this game not only did I beat, but I was on the road to 100%ing it before Pokemon Let's Go came out and consumed my life. So I will go back to this and get the final collectibles that I needed to get and do all the side missions, but I did all of the research stations. I did all of the backpacks. This game makes it fun to 100%, and there are very few games that actually are that rewarding to do all the meaningless side stuff in. So this is a fantastic game, and I would highly recommend this one. Speaking of games that reward you for 100%ing, we've got the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Now, Spider-Man's great, but this game, immediately after playing it, became one of my favorite games of all time. Now, I played the Spyro games as a kid, and I loved them. They're a big part of my gaming childhood, I guess you could say. And Spyro 2 was always up there for me anyway, but this game takes the cake. I mean, this remaster is just it's basically the greatest remaster I've ever seen done. They kept Spyro pretty much as it was, but they added a few modernization things, like with the controls or updating the dragons. They gave this game new life, and this is a fantastic remaster. This is what all remasters should strive to be. And not only that, the games themselves are just insanely fun. I rarely ever 100% games, like I said, and I 100%ed Spyro 1. I got the Platinum Trophy in Spyro 1, and I'm planning to do that in Spyro 2. I'm like 20% of the way through it right now. It's a fantastic trilogy of games, and I think it's a shame that a lot of people overlook this one, because this is like in my top 5 games of 2018, hands down, and probably one of my favorite games on the PS4 in general. So if you haven't given this a try and you like 3D platformers, or you've ever played Spyro, or even if you haven't, this is a fantastic one to get. Next up, we have Star Wars Battlefront. I got this because of all the hype surrounding The Force Awakens when it was coming out. And I mean, to be fair, this game isn't as terrible as everyone says it is, but also for $60, you aren't getting a lot of content here. For the price that this game is now, I would say it's probably okay, but then also Battlefront 2 is already out and already like $10, so you'd probably go for that one anyway. But this game was okay. It's basically Battlefield but Star Wars. So if that sounds interesting to you, you'll probably like this. Next up, we have Titanfall 2. Speaking of overlooked games, this is probably one of the most overlooked games this generation. The single-player campaign in this game is without a doubt the best single-player first-person shooter I've ever played. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. It's a shame what happened to this game. The release time was just awful. It was between Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and it got overshadowed by both those games, both of which are terrible. So this game is actually good. It's $5 almost everywhere, and I would highly recommend you give this a chance. You don't even have to play the multiplayer. I didn't, but the single player is without a doubt worth the price of this game. It's a ton of fun, and I really can't wait for a Titanfall 3. Next up, we've got Until Dawn: Rush of Blood. This is a VR spin-off of Until Dawn, which is the horror choose-your-own-adventure game, which I have digitally. This game's okay. It's an on-rail shooter. You're kind of like on a carnival ride, and you're shooting at things. It's okay. It kind of reminds me of a Wii game, but it's pretty okay for what it is. Next up, we've got Wipeout Omega Collection. So back when I had a PS Vita, I got Wipeout 2048, and I really enjoyed that game. So I decided to get this. It's a remaster of Wipeout from the PS3 and also Wipeout 2048, and this is a ton of fun. This one I would highly recommend. It has a VR mode if you have a PSVR, which is absolutely insane. It's just a lot of fun. If you like games like F-Zero, you'll definitely enjoy this, especially since there hasn't been an F-Zero game in quite some time. I really like these like high-speed racer type games, so this one was definitely a big one for me. I really enjoyed it, so would recommend. And lastly, we've got Yakuza Kiwami. I haven't gotten a chance to play this one yet. I hear really great things about the Yakuza games, and this is a remaster of the first Yakuza game. So I'm excited to play this. I think this is a series I would actually really enjoy. So I hope to give this a shot soon and then move on to Kiwami 2 and all of the other... There's way too many of these games, but I hear they're all great, so I'm excited to play these. But yeah, guys, that is every PS4 game that I own as of January 2019. Actually, I don't plan on buying that many PS4 games this year. There isn't much coming out that is super interesting to me. There's Jump Force, there's the One Piece game, which may or may not be good, I guess we'll see. There's The Last of Us 2, and maybe Ghost of Tsushima, but other than that, there aren't too many games that I'm still interested in coming out on the PS4. The console's life is kind of dwindling down, so I don't think we'll be seeing that many new games in my collection next year, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any favorite games that you want me to check out, you can leave those in the comments down below. If you agreed with me on any of these games, let me know. And also, keep an eye out for the Switch collection coming soon to a sub box near you. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.